Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel and welcome to Gary. This is my brand new Mk2 Golf GTI. I say brand new in the loose terms. Brand new to me. It's done 175,000 miles. It costs $2.5 grand and it's got a very unique three-tone paint job. It's got the wrong grille on it, it's got the wrong wheels on it, it's been lowered, and it also isn't running particularly that well either. Anyway, what we're going to do is take this thing out for a drive. I'll tell you all about the car and then we'll take it to the workshop and find out what Big Neil makes of it. Oh, why do we always film things in winter? It's so cold. This will be interesting because it has a habit of idling a bit fast, this one. Hopefully it starts. Lovely. As you can tell, it doesn't idle particularly that well, so that's a fun, unique quirk. So then, the Mk2 Golf GTI. I've always wanted one of these cars. My uncle used to have one in this exact colour, actually, when I was a kid. So I bought this thing off of eBay, messaged the bloke and said, would you take an offer for it? And he said, you know, I'd like $2.5 grand. I was like, yeah, okay, I'll give you $2.5 grand for it. 175k on the clock, but crucially had a load of service history and looked like a clean car from the photos. In terms of the modifications that this car has, it's relatively standard. It's got different BBS wheels on it. It's been lowered, as I'm sure you can tell, with different shocks. Not sure what the condition of those is. And it's also been polybushed underneath, so it rides the bumps a little bit harshly. But otherwise, it's absolutely fine. Obviously, there are a few things that are going to need fixing, mainly the paintwork, mainly getting it running right. As I said, it's done 175,000 miles, so it's looking a little bit tired for itself on the outside. Inside, interior-wise, it's actually quite nice. It's got a lovely set of seats that don't look too worn. However, in terms of the engine, it's not so good. I drove it back from London when I picked this car up, did 100 miles on the way home, didn't miss a beat, it was absolutely perfect. However, since then I've been driving it a little bit and I've noticed that there's a bit of a misfire when you accelerate under load. But it is very light, it's got about 118 horsepower I think these had from the factory. Combine that with a curb weight of under a tonne, and it actually gets down the road all right. It's not quick by modern standards, by any stretch of the imagination, but it's not deathly slow either. The brakes are okay. Gearbox is all right, bit of a long throw. The only thing is that first and reverse are next to each other, and it's a bit of a common fault. I remember on Wheeler Dealers years ago, they had a Mk1, and it had the same thing, where you go for first and you can accidentally end up putting it in reverse. There's a little bit of play, but going from third to second seems to be a bit of a mission sometimes. It's a bit crunchy going into second. This is all very new to me, so I'm sure that if you're watching this and you've got a Mk2 GTI, you might be looking at it and saying, well, no, hang on, that's what's the problem, not that. So forgive me if I do get some things wrong, because I am still very much learning a Mk2 GTI. Steering is heavy because of the lack of power steering, which is all right when you're going at high speeds, but when you're going around a corner like that at slow speeds, it's a bit of a workout. But the good thing is I've been able to cancel my gym membership as a result, so, you know, swings and roundabouts and all that. But it has wormed its way under my skin, this car. You know, I've only driven it 130 miles or so, but I love it already. I find it hilarious, this car, though, because the driving position is all over the shop. I've got no up and down adjustment on the seat. The only thing I can adjust is going forwards and backwards, but I can't adjust the steering column either. So I'm sat here way too high, it feels like. I feel like I'm on the roof, so I feel like I'm steering the car with my knees. I've never really had anything this old school in terms of a hot hatch, and I love how analog everything is. There's no power steering, there's no ABS, there's no creature compass at all, actually, to be honest with you, aside from a heated rear window. This is the first car I've driven on the road that is actually older than me, 1990. I was born in 97. Getting onto a little bit of dual carriageway here, so this will show you just how loud it is inside the car. Let's get ourselves up to sort of dual carriageway speeds. Fifth gear, 70 miles an hour, about 3.5 grand. It's quite noisy, to be honest. Oh well. It's an old car. And it does have a big boy exhaust on it as well. Hopefully you can still understand what I'm saying and Jamie's not messing around with the subtitles or anything along the lines of that. I love how easy it is to heel toe this thing as well. It's such a rewarding car to drive because you do feel like you have to put the work in. You've really got to drive this bloody thing. Down into fourth, heel toe it, down into third, lovely. Into second, we've actually managed to get it into gear that time, so that's nice. Oh, God, it's misfiring a little bit. It's a bit jumpy under acceleration sometimes. Come on, car, clear your throat. So as you can tell, I'm quite happy with the Golf GTI, but it does need a few things doing to it. Bodywork, we need to look at some mechanics. We also need to have a look underneath and find out what the state of this car is, because it could be a complete hen house and been bodged together with sealant and gaffer tape for all I know. Fortunately, I've got a bloke who can do that very nicely. So with that in mind, let's get it over to Big Neil's workshop, get it up on the ramp, and find out what he makes of our multi-tone Golf GTI.
Brake lights work.
I know already what you're thinking.
No, you don't.
It's a winner.
What happened there then?
Paint's sort of
Yeah.
three-tone, and it's done 175,000 miles. But you know, it's a work in progress. What do you reckon otherwise?
The stop lights worked.
Yeah, that's good. Horn works, heater works. That's all it's got. It's got nothing else.
Oh, and they got rear wiper, is it?
I don't know whether that's been deleted or not. It's got different wheels on it. It's been lowered. It's got polybush, kind of, I think, all round, but I'm not sure. And that's it. Yeah.
Okay.
So, and it's got a misfire.
Oh,
And the
is
gear.
that free of charge?
Yeah, and the gearbox is a bit woolly. I can tell you're going to like it. First impressions?
It's not falling apart, so can't be any worse than the Mondeo, can it?
I don't think they've seen the Mondeo on the channel yet. Cut to some shots of the Mondeo that I bought, which I had for about a week. The critical component of this, by the way, will be if it goes up on the ramp and doesn't fall through it. Keep going.
All the way till it stops.
So this will be why the gearbox is so woolly.
Yeah, that's all right.
Oh, yeah, no, that's foobarred, isn't it? Yeah, it shouldn't be like that.
And you've got Bilstein suspension.
Yeah, it's had shocks all around. It's obviously lower by, I think, like 20 mil, 25 mil maybe.
Braided hoses.
Yeah. It's been polybushed as well, but I don't know when it was done, because I haven't looked at the receipts.
That's it, don't hit it too hard.
So it's got a Scorpion exhaust on it, which is remarkably loud, actually, as it turns out.
Probably remarkably rattly as well.
It is a little bit, yeah. What's that, a hanger that's not?
It's just been fitted too close. It's touching, touching the heat.
Coming in, Adam. Have a look. So it's there touching the heat shield at the top, which it shouldn't be. Which probably explains some of the vibrations when you're driving. Rust-wise, though?
Oh, it's okay so far. It's just peeling undersill and surface rust. Structurally, it looks pretty good.
Yeah.
So these original alloys, BBS ones, are they?
Not to the best of my knowledge, no. Certainly not the original colour.
No. I'm not sure. Don't they have BBS alloys?
I don't know, actually. These are 15s, which are quite rare, apparently, for these specific ones. Apparently they should normally be 14s, I think.
And it's painted that, just taped it off halfway
Yeah,
down.
I know. You can tell it's about 3 different colours, this thing. Got to change that grille as well. It's doing my head in. It should have had 4 lights rather than 2. So this is a grille from a CL, I think. So you'd have like these lights here, and then you'd have another set inside. You can pick them up for about 90, 100 quid, something like that. Trying to find a Mk2 Golf in this colour especially that's original is actually really hard. So, you know, you could 20 valve turbo swap it, you could stick a VR6 engine in it, you could stick a V6 engine from a TT in it if you wanted to. However,
I'm not doing that.
that's not happening. And to be honest, I think there's a bit of a beauty in the originality of it. You know, the fact that it's the engine it came out the factory with. I don't see the point in changing that, to be honest. My concern is the misfire as well. I don't know where that's coming from, because it's idling too fast at the moment. And it sounds like it's, like if you start it from cold, it sounds like it's got cams on it. It's going burp, 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 burp.
Doesn't tick over that great.
No. There you go.
Is that what it does on road?
Yeah,
Is it?
like that, and then it's just got no power. Goes on to 3 cylinders, I think.
Well, it don't do a lot, does it? Not idle. Bit more on that one.
What do you think?
Well, I need to drive it first and see. Oh, it's like old school, this, see?
Oh, no power steering.
Yeah, MPS.
Keep fit windows. Keep fit steering. Oh,
Steering's a bit.
it's a bit woolly.
I think it's just wheel alignment at the top.
Right.
It's a new engine mount
Yeah.
as well, I feel, isn't it?
Vibrates a little bit. Go on then, what do you reckon? Oh, sorry, you're not even out of it yet.
Oh,
Is that
yeah,
how you-
nice. Oh, I don't drive too bad. It's just steering's a bit vague.
Yeah.
So,
And the idling.
and the idling, yeah.
Other than that, it's a factory model. Right, what are you thinking? Big Neil Racing, 1 to 10.
Oh, is this on a Tom scale or my scale?
Well, your scale, you're the one that's fixing the damn thing.
Oh, my scale, it's probably a 4-ish.
Okay.
But on your scale, it's probably an 8.
Yeah, helps it. All right, so a few things to do then on our Golf. It could be interesting to see how we get on with it. Join us in the next episode when we start getting this thing running right and hopefully getting the mechanical bits sorted on the car. But I hope you've enjoyed getting to meet Gary the Golf. I hope you've enjoyed seeing Big Neil again on the channel. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe if you have enjoyed it. And we'll see you again next time when we get on with our Mk2 GTI.